Alright guys, we're back again with a quick one. Homeowner called us saying she has water coming out of her laundry. This is a duplex house. She says, I believe it's coming from the next door. So we go next door and check, and guess what? This thing has been leaking for a very long time. You can see the sheetrock's all disintegrating. It's all wet, mold all over the place. And so we start replacing it. Let's go. So now I start cutting everything out. Shut the water up to the house, and I start taking everything out. We cut the sheetrock open, and now I'm removing all the sheetrock screws because I don't like leaving work for the next guy who's going to patch this. So I like leaving everything a clean slate. And guess what I found? A sheetrock screw going right through the nail plate. So barely missed the PVC. It didn't ding it, it didn't scratch or anything. So we moved on. We took it out and we're good to go. But as you can see, whoever tried to put that sheetrock on was there for a while trying to screw that screw in, because at least it doesn't go right through the nail plate. But anyhow, we keep on moving forward. I start cutting out the PVC with the multi-tool, since it's a little easier in this situation than the Sawzall, so I could take that box out of there, cut the PVC out, and start removing these hoses. Once I cut the water lines out, copper water lines, everything's disconnected. Leave the bucket there so it could drain. And I'm thinking about how we're going to get the new one. I'm crossing my fingers that it's the same size. If not, we're going to have to redo a lot. But I was pretty lucky enough that the new box, the OD box, washing machine box, is pretty much almost identical. Besides, this one had 2 single shutoff valves. I like using a single shutoff valve from Watts. A lot easier, a lot better quality anyway. And then plus, this tenant doesn't use a washer and dryer, so it's going to be disconnected anyway. That's the reason in the first place it was leaking. They disconnected the washer and dryer months ago, and they just left the valves leaking, and everything just created big problems. So anyhow, you ProPress lovers, I don't use ProPress. I'm torch all the way when I can. As you saw my last video, I had to use the ProPress. I really didn't want to, but I used it. But in this one, solder all the way. So as you can see, I'm priming everything up. It's real easy because I didn't have to do PVC work. I started with the PVC, that way I don't have to redo the trap or anything like that. And then now I'm nailing in the box. I like using roofing nails for this. A lot of people use sheetrock screws or anything. You could. I just like the roofing nails because it has a flat head and it sits a little flat. So the guy with the sheetrock, whoever's going to install the sheetrock, doesn't give him a little headache, which a nail head is not going to give him a headache. But in my books, I'd rather have a roofing nail flat head, that way he doesn't give him headaches. We start doing the copper, line everything up here. We start with the cold, and then once the cold is done, turn on the torch, and boom, we start soldering. As you can see, I slide that the heat shield. It's like a cloth. I have it on my links below. That way you don't burn the sheetrock or burn anything. It looks like shit when people solder and burn the wood, burn the sheetrock. Just use the ProPress. If you're going to start burning everything, just use the ProPress. Leave the torch to the professionals. So I torched it up, used that burn rack, clean everything up, and boom, we're good to go. Start now with the hot side. Same thing. It's going to be 290s. So each cold and hot was like 3 or 4 joints that I had to solder, which is nothing. Make sure everything's clean, and then put everything back together. Flux everything up. Put that burn rack back up in there so you don't burn anything. It looks professional. And turn the torch back on. This is a small tip, a number 2 tip. It's real good for small spaces, and plus it's only 1/2 inch copper. Usually I use a 3 tip or 4, which it's not a bad thing, but I like this 2 tip when it's real tight spots, and it throws a nice decent flame. Heats up pretty quick also. So everything's nice and clean. Let me know how those solder joints look to you guys. And no, that primer job was not mine. That was an old primer job. Like and subscribe. Let me know if you need anything, any videos you guys suggest. If you live in North Jersey, need some plumbing work done, give me a call. See you on the next one. See ya.